Coronavirus disease is now spreading within counties in Kenya, from person to person through contact with droplets when an infected person speaks, coughs or sneezes, or through touching contaminated surfaces and objects. Anybody with a weakened body immunity has a greater risk of contracting coronavirus disease. People living with pre-existing medical conditions such as HIV, cancer, TB, diabetes, among others, must adhere to their treatment to strengthen immunity, and therefore should ensure they have a constant supply of necessary medicines. Contact your clinic or health facility for information on how to access treatment. Help others within your network to access adequate supply of essential medicines. Ensure that you remain connected with your local networks for any support, and follow the medical guidelines provided by your health facility to prevent coronavirus. Remember to stay updated with information on coronavirus using only trusted reliable channels. For more information on COVID-19, call 719 or dial *719#. COVID-19 is preventable. Protect yourself, your family, and the community. This message has been brought to you by the Government of Kenya and its partners.
It's the 27th of April 2021. Good evening to our viewers here in Kenya and around the world. I hope you had yourself a fantastic day. And of course, here in Kenya, it's history in the making as the JSC nominates the first female Chief Justice, Lady Justice Martha Koome. And once approved as the Chief Justice, then she will be the very first female to serve as the Chief Justice here in Kenya. And let's understand where once a nomination is done by the Judicial Service Commission, then what is the process before she is confirmed or even not confirmed as the Chief Justice of the Republic of Kenya? And here is the process of the appointment of Chief Justice as per the Constitution of Kenya. So the Chief Justice of Kenya is formally appointed by the President, and once that is done, but just before that is done, he or she is selected by the Judicial Service Commission following a very competitive process which we witnessed. And of course, Lady Justice Koome was competing or was in an interview among other 10 contestants who were eyeing this position, and she was also among the 3 female contestants for this. So the Chief Justice is formally appointed by the President, but is selected by the Judicial Service Commission following a competitive process. After that, what happens is that the nomination process involves a vacancy announcement, which was done following the retirement of retired Chief Justice David Maraga in January. Then the shortlisting of applicants, and then interviews are conducted. Then the Judicial Service Commission selects one individual. That happened this Tuesday. After the selection, the name is forwarded to the President, which was done again today. So what are we looking at? We are looking at the President forwarding this name before the National Assembly. And once the vetting by the members of the National Assembly is complete, plus the approval, then the president officially appoints the Chief Justice. And this is the process that we expect moving forward. We expect now the president to forward the name before the National Assembly, who will sit down and vet and then approve or not approve this. But once approved, then they will return the name to the president, who will officially nominate. And so the very first time that the Judicial Service Commission is nominating a woman as the nominee for the Chief Justice position here in Kenya. History in the making, of course. We have details of that and more stories, including news just in that the Wajir Governor Mohamed Abdi has been impeached. Let's get the highlights.
This commission to nominate a woman for the office of the Chief Justice, because it has never happened before.
The JSC has unanimously recommended the appointment of Honorable Lady Justice Koome Martha Karabu, Judge of the Court of Appeal, as the Chief Justice of the Republic of Kenya.
First among equals. Kenya poised for the first female Chief Justice as Martha Koome is nominated for the top judicial office.
Mbele, kwa sababu hii ndiyo njia pekee ya kurekebisha maovu yale ambaye yamefanyika kwa muda wa miaka mingi katika nyumba hiyo ambaye tunaita Ardhi House.
President Uhuru Kenyatta unveils a digital land management system, marking the end of fraud, vulnerable minute transactions. And Matatu users on a stretched walk to work as Nairobi Metropolitan Service conducts a test run of the Green Park terminus. Thank you very much for joining us tonight. My name is Purity Museo, and Anu Wangeshi is our sign language interpreter. Tonight, we ask you, do you agree with the appointment, or not appointment, but nomination of Lady Justice Martha Koome by the JSC? Do you agree with the appointment, or do you support the appointment of Martha Koome as the next Chief Justice? Do weigh in also on the content of this broadcast at Purity_Museo and at KBC Channel 1 News. The hashtag to use is Channel 1 News. And news just coming in is that Wajir Governor Mohamed Abdi has been impeached in a sitting that involved 47 members of the County Assembly, and 37 voted to support this motion to impeach him, and 10 were against it. And the reason as to why he was impeached were accusations of gross misconduct as well as poor development track records. News just in is that the Mohamed Abdi Wajir County Governor has been impeached after 37 members of County Assembly supported this motion to impeach him. And what follows these deliberations of the Tuesday impeachment motion again will be forwarded to the Senate. Speaker Kenneth Lusaka, of course, will be following up what happens. It's now for the Senate to sit and see whether they will approve this decision by majority of the County Assembly members of Wajir County. Right, to our top story tonight, a Court of Appeal Judge Martha Koome is one step away from making history as Kenya's first female Chief Justice and President of the Supreme Court. This is after Judicial Service Commission found her to be the most suitable for the job out of 10 candidates interviewed. Justice Koome's name will be forwarded to the National Assembly for vetting, and if approved, she will formally be appointed by the President to replace David Kenani Maraga, who retired in January this year.
The JSC has unanimously recommended the appointment of Honorable Lady Justice Koome Martha Karabu, Judge of the Court of Appeal, as the Chief Justice of the Republic of Kenya, and has submitted.
The announcement of Professor Olive Mugenda, Vice Chair of the Judicial Service Commission panel that interviewed candidates for the position of Chief Justice of Kenya, heralds what could be making of history. Justice Martha Koome was one of the 3 women among 10 candidates vetted by the JSC.
The Commission wishes to congratulate Honorable Lady Justice Martha Koome for becoming the first woman Chief Justice of the Republic of Kenya.
And for that, the Mother Koome, I remember,
yes,
before she became a judge.
During her interview on Wednesday, April 14th, Justice Koome, who unsuccessfully sought the CJ position in 2016, said if appointed, she will prioritize uptake of technology, clearing the backlog of cases, and operationalization of the Judiciary Fund.
Once it's operationalized, we can attract funding. The judiciary has always been supported by donors. We can get the government funding. The 17 billion that I heard was given to the judiciary. If it is put in the judiciary fund, then judiciary will never lack money to complete projects.
The head of the criminal division at the Court of Appeal boasts 35 years experience in the legal profession, which is more than double the threshold required for the position of Chief Justice. Justice Koome is renowned for defending the rights of women and children. If vetted and approved by the National Assembly, the 61-year-old will be appointed to the position by the President as exposed in Article 166 of the Constitution, making her the first female Chief Justice.
My being a woman or being a man would do anything in the office of the Chief Justice. It is the leadership skills. But it will be historical for this commission to nominate a woman for the office of the Chief Justice because it has never happened before.
The nomination of Justice Koome means should she be confirmed Chief Justice, the judiciary top brass will be women. Currently, the acting and deputy Chief Justice is Philomena Mwilu, while the Chief Registrar of the Judiciary is Ann Amadi, a first for women in the country. Suleiman Yeri, Channel 1 News.
Right, let's now understand the lady of the moment, who she really is, looking at the biography of Lady Justice Martha Koome, who was just nominated as the next Chief Justice. And Martha Koome, the 61-year-old, was born in 1960 in the county of Meru. And of course, it's important to understand her. Then we can have the next slide in the education part of her. She, in 2010, graduated as a master's degree holder in law, in public international law, University of London. That was in 2010. And then in 1986, she also acquired the Bachelor of Law at the University of Nairobi, right here in Kenya. Then we can proceed to the education, still postgraduate diploma in law from the Kenya School of Law. She also holds that. She is a career woman, of course, with a law background. And then again, in her career in 1986, she was admitted to the bar as an advocate of the High Court. Between 1986 and 1993, she served as a legal associate at the Mathenge and Muchemi Advocates. Okay, let's proceed. 1993, opened own law firm as a managing partner until 2003. And between 2003 to 2011, she served as a High Court judge. Then 2011 to date, the Court of Appeal judge, head of criminal division. That's when now she applied for this position as the next Chief Justice of this country. And of course, the Judicial Service Commission today did nominate her as the next Chief Justice for this country. And so we are waiting to see if she will be, of course, she will be vetted, and if she'll be approved, then it's up to the President to officially nominate her as the next Chief Justice to replace Justice David Maraga, who retired in January this year. Let's deal with the courts, and the Judicial Service Commission can now go ahead with the recruitment of the Supreme Court judge scheduled for this week. This is after the Court of Appeal overturned orders issued by the High Court barring the recruitment of the Chief Justice. The court had also given JSC the green light to score the recently interviewed candidates for the position of the Chief Justice, which it has done, and subsequently settled on the Court of Appeal judge Martha Koome. Let's have a look at that report.
The three judges, Justice Roslyn Nambuye, Patrick Kiage, and Sankale Olekantai, stayed the order, saying that the High Court did not deal with the issue of jurisdiction before they issued the orders. They noted that the Judicial Service Commission (JSC) and the Attorney General lodged a strong case with a high probability of success. The ruling read out by Justice Patrick Kiage granted permission to JSC to proceed with the interviews for selecting one Supreme Court judge and scoring the nominee for CJ.
The Commission has rescheduled the interviews to start on Monday, 3rd May 2021, and all the candidates will be notified immediately on the scheduled dates of the interviews.
The bench further directed that the records of appeal shall be filed and served in the next 30 days, failing which the stay orders shall automatically lapse. The petitioners, through their lawyer Dunstan Omari, say they were not satisfied with the ruling, adding that they cannot now move to the Supreme Court.
For now, the decision is final. The Court of Appeal has said we don't agree with the decision, but we respect the decision and we are bound by it. We will advise our clients to comply with that.
JSC had moved to the appellate court seeking to suspend the orders issued by the High Court last week, halting the recruitment. The JSC had warned there will be a constitutional crisis if the selection of CJ and a Supreme Court judge is not concluded. Suleiman Yeri, Channel 1 News.
In other news, the President Uhuru Kenyatta has unveiled a digital land information management system dubbed Ardhi Sasa, marking the end of manual land transactions in Nairobi. Speaking when he unveiled the new system at the National Geospatial Data Center in Nairobi, the President said the digital platform developed by the team of the Kenyan techies over a 3-year period spells doom to land cartels, middlemen and fraudsters.
At the click of a button, any interested party can now get all the details about a parcel of land after the Lands Ministry unveiled a digital land information management system, which is expected to read the system of ills associated with land.
That's why today you are here to launch this.
President Uhuru Kenyatta, when unveiling the new system dubbed Ardhi Sasa, said the digital platform will protect Kenyans from exploitation by cartels, middlemen and fraudsters.
Wakenya wengi wameteseka sana. Wengi kununua mashamba ambaye hayapo. Wengine kununua mashamba ambayo yameuziwa mtu mwingine. Wengine kuona title yao imebadilishwa na imepatiwa mtu mwingine na mambo mengi kama haya. Na sasa tumeanza safari ya kusafisha rekodi hizo zote.
The system you're launching today, Your Excellency, has been in the making for 26 years. Because, Your Excellency, the first attempt to make the Ministry of Lands digital was in 1995, and probably a more aggressive attempt in the year 2004. It is a no wonder, Your Excellency, that when you gave us this assignment 3 years ago, you told us that failure was not an option.
With today's unveiling of Ardhi Sasa, the manual lands information management system in Nairobi has been vacated. However, landowners who might not be able to access their records are advised to be patient as the Ministry of Lands continues to populate the digital platform.
Niombe wa Kenya, kwa sababu ni wengi ambao labda wataingia kwa system kuangalia hali yao ama hali ya mashamba yao kama ama title deed zao, wapate labda kuna shida. Ningewaomba sana mutafutane na Wizara ya Ardhi, na ndio pamoja mutatue hizo shida, na ndio ujue ukishamaliza kazi hiyo, ile cheti ambayo umeishika ni cheti ya haki, na ni cheti ambaye ni yako, na ni cheti ambayo itakusaidia na isaidie watoto wako.
The head of state further pointed out that the new digital platform will benefit all landowners and potential landowners by providing accurate information required to support the commercialization of land in a convenient and timely manner.
The system ambayo ilikuweko hapo mbeleni kule Ardhi House ilifungwa jana. Na ikiwa sasa imefungwa, hakuna system ingine ambayo itatumika kuhudumia Wakenya ambao wako na haja ya kujua mambo ya mashamba yao isipokuwa hii ambaye tumeanzisha leo.
Ardhi Sasa project also saw the production of Kenya's first digital topographical map and those of the nation's 47 counties.
Ben Chumba, reporting for Channel 1 News.
Thousands of passengers in Nairobi using public service vehicles that operate from Nairobi railway station frontage were forced to walk extra kilometers to work following the commissioning of the Green Park terminal. The Nairobi Metropolitan Service Tuesday morning conducted a test run on the Green Park terminal, which is nearing completion, where all passengers were dropped off outside Central Business District. The new terminal is part of the strategy to decongest the city under the Nairobi Integrated Urban Development Master Plan.
Efforts to decongest Nairobi's Central Business District continue to take shape. Tuesday morning, the Green Park terminal, which has been under construction for the last 6 months and intended to be the new terminal for PSV vehicles that operate from the Nairobi railway station frontage, underwent a test run.
Lakini leo ni testing ya drop off point na tuone vile inafanya. Na vile sisi tunaona inaendelea kufanya vizuri.
From 6 a.m. to 9 a.m. public service vehicles dropped off passengers at the terminal away from the normal drop off points.
So ukifanya testing utagundua iko sehemu kidogo lazima urekebishe. Na hiyo ndio madhumuni ya leo.
This new change, however, did not go down well with some passengers. Most were forced to trek an extra mile or two to their workplace.
Lakini naye hii imekuwa ngumu. Kushuka hapa hivi na waanza kutembea na mguu mpaka huko. Haya pana.
Unaenda wapi wewe?
Naenda Kigomba chini.
Imenitatiza sana kwa sababu nimezoea na shukianga afya center alafu naenda tu shughuli zangu. Sasa sijaona nikiwa sawa. Ndio hata nitachelewa nilikuwa naenda.
So asubuhi nimeshangaa sana kukuja na pikipiki hapa, nikakutana na mama amesimama hapa kwa mlango mzee. Huyu mama akaniambia hata ajui ameshukishiwa wapi.
This notwithstanding, however, some hailed the move.
I don't feel bad. Yeah, I feel okay because where I work is just here. So it's even nearer to where I work.
Okay, kama wanaona hiyo ndio njia, maybe kwa kupunguza jamu ama whatever, tutazoea tu.
After 9 a.m., PSVs were allowed to resume their normal operations. Nairobi Metropolitan Service Director, Roads, Transport and Public Works Engineer Michael Ochieng says the test run is a crucial step towards commissioning of the facility.
Tumeona pia changamoto ya walemavu wale hawakujiweza kufika jiji la Nairobi. Tumeona pia watu wamebeba mizigo ambao hawakujiweza kufika jijini la Nairobi, lakini kuendelea mbele tutakuwa na shuttle bus. Na hata leo tuko na shuttle bus ile ya Kenya Railway iko pale ya kubeba wale wasiojiweza.
The test run is scheduled for 2 weeks on different dates before officially opening up for full operations.
It is without doubt that most of Nairobi's commuters have this morning been caught unawares by this new change in the transport sector. But the commissioning of the Green Park terminal sets the pace towards decongesting Nairobi, with 7 more such state-of-the-art bus terminals also underway. Kamche Menza for Channel 1 News, Nairobi.
To the daily COVID-19 update, Kenya's coronavirus curve remains steady exactly a month after President Uhuru Kenyatta put 5 counties under partial lockdown as part of COVID-19 containment measures necessitated by the lethal third wave of infections. In the last 24 hours, the country recorded 511 new infections from 4,020 samples screened, pushing the disease positivity rate to 12.7%. The total number of infections now stands at 157,492. From the new infections, 477 are Kenyans, while 34 are foreigners. The youngest patient is a 5-month-old infant, while the oldest is 95 years old. Between Monday and Tuesday, 22 patients succumbed to the disease, 18 deaths occurring on diverse dates within the last 1 month, and 4 being late deaths reported from facility record audits. So far, 2,665 people have died from the disease. And on Tuesday, the Minister of Health reported 467 recoveries, 385 from the home-based and isolation care, while 82 are from various health facilities. 840,075 persons have so far been vaccinated against COVID-19 across the country. Staying with the pandemic dilemma, the Council of Governors is warning that recklessness among Kenyans is causing an upsurge of COVID-19 cases in the counties. According to the COG, demand for medical-grade oxygen in the Lake Region Economic Bloc counties has skyrocketed, and there is need for urgent interventions. This as Nakuru County increased production of oxygen cylinders from 40 to 120 per day. And as Ruth Wamboi reports, counties with high production of oxygen cylinders have committed to help those in need.
Demand for medical oxygen in hospitals across the country has increased as the third wave of COVID-19 continues to spread. The Council of Governors attributing the upsurge of patients to lack of adherence to the Ministry of Health guidelines. Counties have been forced to put in place internal mechanisms to cope.
Counties such as Nakuru has increased production of oxygen cylinders from 40 cylinders per day to 120. Additionally, Kisumu County has 2 oxygen generating plants with combined capacity of 375 liters per minute, running at full capacity.
At the same time, uptake of Oxford AstraZeneca vaccine has increased in the past 1 week, especially among the elderly.
County governments have increased the centers of vaccination as they anticipate demand for vaccine uptake in subsequent phases of the COVID-19 vaccine rollout.
Meanwhile, the Council of Governors is concerned by the high number of gender-based violence cases. West Pokot, Makueni, Migori, Vihiga, Bungoma and Meru counties have set up rescue centers to provide a safe haven for women and girls who are mostly affected.
We appeal to all of us to join hands in preventing and fighting and educating the public against gender-based violence.
Governors spoke in Nairobi as they received personal protective equipments worth 100 million shillings donated by development partners to help the frontline health workers.
COVID Action Fund for Africa, we can get together to organize PPEs that community health workers so need, and that these PPEs can actually continue to support healthcare workers so that they can be able to serve populations that we are serving.
Today basically is an extension of our mantra. We know COVID happened, there are various challenges at different levels, and we must all lean in as partners to come and try and support and work with governments towards this.
The war against coronavirus pandemic is still far from over. This is as the Council of Governors advises Kenyans in the lockdown counties to take the measures seriously. Reporting for Channel 1 News from Nairobi County, I'm Ruth Wamboi.
And tracking the COVID-19 story across our borders, makeshift pyres are being built in crematoriums in India's capital, Delhi, as the city runs out of space to cremate its dead. Deaths have been steadily rising in India as a deadly second wave of COVID-19 infections devastates the country, with 380 recorded in Delhi alone on Monday.
In Delhi, parking lots, parks or empty grounds are now being sought for the increasing need for cremations. Crematorium staff is working throughout the night, with relatives of the dead reportedly having to help with the cremations. The development coming as medical supplies from the UK arrived in India on Tuesday, the first international shipment aimed at stemming a devastating surge in COVID-19 cases. The World Health Organization has also deployed medical staff in India.
The situation in India is beyond heartbreaking. WHO is doing everything we can, providing critical equipment and supplies, including thousands of oxygen concentrators, prefabricated mobile field hospitals, and laboratory supplies. As I mentioned on Friday, WHO has redeployed more than 2,600 staff to support the response on the ground, providing support for surveillance, technical advice, and vaccination efforts.
India stepped up its own efforts. The first Oxygen Express train, which aimed to transport 70 tons of the gas, arrived in Delhi. But around many Indian cities, images still show people waiting outside hospitals in ambulances or lying on makeshift beds. Over the past 24 hours, India recorded 323,144 new cases, slightly below a worldwide peak of 352,991 it reached on Monday. Deaths rose by 2,771 to 197,894.
Our prayers to every family that has lost a loved one from COVID-19 disease. Please let's keep following up on these measures, preventive measures of COVID-19, especially putting on the mask and socially distancing. We're taking our first commercial break right here on Channel 1 News. Remember, you can weigh in our content tonight at Purity_Museo and at KBC Channel 1 News. Do stay with us. We still have plenty more to come.
Je, umeomoka? Kama hujaomoka kwenye Quickly ndio mambo yote. Hata tuko na fridge, kodi yake ni CM. Tuko na gas cooker, kodi yake ni CK. Tuko na TV, kodi yake ni TV. Tuko na simu aina ya Samsung ni SM. Ama Oppo ni Oppo. My friend, mahali popote unanitizama, eka hizo kodi zake kisha utume kwa 4032353. 4032353. Alafu utakuwa unaomoka na hizi bidhaa. Kumbuka kwenye Quickly ni la bora zaidi kwa bei ya chini kwa chini.
On the next episode of Ashoka.
And if it wasn't right, well, just because I took this decision myself, lie. It's a lie, father. It is a blatant lie. Just don't want to see the problem. You have become so egoistic that you just do not want to accept your mistake. You don't even want to look back and see what you have done.
Emperor, you're not trying to understand.
Magad's Emperor is talking to Magad's Crown Prince. Relax, he'll be the Crown Prince. Anything happened? I said it back then and I'm saying it now.
Next on.
That's unbelievable. I don't want to live here anymore. This doesn't feel like home. Oh my God. I'm going to leave. You leave, where will you go? I'll go anywhere.
And the amount you want me to deposit tomorrow? I'm so sorry to disappoint you, madam, but your money's of no importance to me. Are you telling me that you're going to refuse it? Lucretia might be the woman who shot Amaya.
Really?
She was at the building this morning,
And she had a purse that looked just like the one I saw from the woman who came from Emma's building the day Amaya was shot.
You're watching Channel 1 News Hour. Anne Wangeshi is our sign language interpreter tonight. Welcome back. Kisumu County will now revert to the normal 3-month rationing of the antiretroviral drugs from the 1-month rationing that was occasioned by the shortage of the life-saving drugs in the county. This follows the rollout of the distribution exercise of HIV drugs from the Kenya Medical Supplies Authority Regional Distribution Center in Kisumu County. Head of Kisumu RDC, Dr. Kenneth Bukachi, said the exercise will benefit the 389,551 patients across 7 counties in the region.
Let's go!
It is a relief for more than 106,000 HIV patients in Kisumu County following the rollout of the distribution exercise of HIV commodities from the Kenya Medical Supplies Authority Regional Distribution Center in Kisumu County. The patients will now receive their 3-month medication as opposed to the 1-month rationing that was occasioned by the shortage of the life-saving drugs in the county.
In Nairobi, already 31 counties have been attended to from our National Supply Chain Center in Embakasi, Kemsa. And therefore, there should be no cause for alarm.
We are not yet out of the woods, and I would want to urge on behalf of the Governor, the Ministry of Health, to resolve the issue that lies between them and USAID so that the consignment that is not yet in the distribution warehouse of the government can be, brought on board, because therein may lie some of the commodities that may be of use to the young man.
We would like to take this opportunity to appeal to the people living with HIV and those registered within our CCCs to visit their CCCs and access the medications.
The county received 68 HIV commodity deliveries for the April 2021 cycle, with Kisumu Deputy Governor Dr. Matthew Owili urging HIV patients in the county to ensure adherence to medication.
I want to take this opportunity again to assure our clients that we shall revert back to the earlier rationing of 3 months and normal infant testing.
A total of 457 packages of HIV drugs will be distributed across 7 counties in the region, including Kisumu, Siaya, Migori, Bungoma, Vihiga, Kakamega, and Nyamira. Meanwhile, Kisumu County received a major boost in the management of respiratory diseases in the county following the donation of 10 asthma nebulization machines and stations from the AstraZeneca company.
The Africa Pumua initiative, which is part of what we are launching today with the NEP station donations, is actually looking at where the challenges in asthma management, because Pumua means to breathe. How can we make more people breathe better? So our commitment is to support healthcare system strengthening through the donation of equipment and NEP stations, and that's just not all. We'll be bringing spirometers, peak flow meters as well.
The equipment will be stationed at Jaramogi Oginga Odinga Teaching and Referral Hospital. Wycliffe Okech for Channel 1 News.
Some politics now. A section of MPs from the Orange Democratic Party now says Parliament will pass in totality the Building Bridges Initiative report during its special sittings scheduled for Wednesday and Thursday this week. ODM Chairperson John Mbadi dismissed claims that the BBI document debated by the county assemblies was defective, adding that notwithstanding will not deter the passage of the document by Parliament.
The debate on whether or not to approve the Building Bridges Initiative report as passed by the county assemblies kicks off Wednesday in the 2 houses. Both the National Assembly and the Senate will table and discuss BBI reports amid controversy whether the right document was discussed at the counties before it was approved. A section of leaders in the Orange Democratic Party says Parliament will pass the bill as it is.
The fact remains ya kuwa Wakenya ambao kwamba ndio wenye nchi wameshasema tunataka iwe hivi. IBC is a body that is represented by individuals. Those individuals do not surpass the millions of Kenyans who voted for this.
The leaders defending Raila Odinga on claims that he was shortchanged in final BBI report.
It is give and take in politics. And so ODM got a lot of things that ODM wanted. There are also quite a number of things that we wanted and we did not get. In fact, if you ask me, ODM initially wanted a pure parliamentary system.
In case the legislators fail to pass the document to the houses in the first and second readings, then the debates will be pushed to Tuesday next week.
Tunapitisha the bill without any amendments.
Elsewhere, Director People with Disabilities, Meru County, Mike Makarina, has blamed a group of Mount Kenya region MPs for allegedly hawking the region to the highest political bidder.
Tunaomba MP wale tulichagua, si wakati wa kutetea Ruto. Hii ni wakati wa COVID, na COVID inaua. Saidieni mlemavu yule analala kwa nyumba, mama yule ako na mtoto mlemavu.
Irene Mchuma Odim, Channel 1.
And on a separate matter, a section of youth from Maasai community in Taita Taveta County have transitioned from childhood to adulthood in a traditional initiation ceremony held in the area. The young adults are now empowered to participate in decision making and set the agenda of the upcoming generation.
More than 80 Maasai boys transitioned to adulthood in Orkong area of Taita Taveta County. The initiation ceremony brought together community leaders and the young men who now have the green light to participate in the Maasai community's societal decision agenda.
Hakuna kitu yoyote inaingia katika jamii ya Kimasai ambaye sisi hatujui. Kila kitu tunajulishwa, ndio sisi tunafanya hii kitu ipotee kabisa kama ngao ya Wamasai.
The Maas are among Kenyan communities who still hold tight to some of the traditions, such as the initiation of boys to adulthood.
Hii mila inatusaidia sana kuheshimu wazee, mtoto mdogo ajue mkubwa wake. Mimi sasa hivi siwezi keti wakati babangu anasimama, ama mkubwa wangu. Tumesaliwa na mama mmoja lakini najua yeye ni mkubwa wangu. Siwezi kaa wakati yeye akisimama.
The young adults will now pass certain duties such as herding of livestock to the younger ones. Former Taita Taveta Governor John Murutu called on the new initiates to exercise tolerance and commitment in the fight against the spread of COVID-19 in the society. Sentiments echoed by area leaders.
Tafadhali, hilo ni ombi langu kwamba warani kazi mtakayofanya katika jamii ni kubwa, lakini tafadhali kumbukeni kwamba majukumu yenu yanachanganyika vile vile na kulinda jamii kutokana na magonjwa yale ambao yalipo.
More than 200 young men from the Lumi, Salita and Orkong areas in Taita Taveta have transitioned to adulthood, courtesy of the ceremony held every 10 years.
Tusije kukutana chini ya huu mti, tujenge mahali ambao utamaduni wa Kimasai utaonyeshwa na tuone tule vyakula vya Kimasai, tunywe maziwa ya Kimasai, na baada ya siku tutafurahia sana.
Usitegemee kupata jino lenye afya kwenye mdomo uliooza. Usikubali kupokea zawadi ya nguo kutoka kwa mtu aliyeuchi. Mapenzi ni kufaana, nifae ni kufae. Hisani ni njia mbili, nipe nikupe. Ila ni muhimu kufahamu kuwa sio binadamu wote watakushukuru hata watendeapo mema. Ukitaka thawabu kutoka mbinguni, wewe tenda wema tu, uondoke.
Ili kupata skiza tuni ya pumzi ya busara, bonyeza star 811 star 815 hash. Bonyeza star 811 star 815 hash.
Next on.
That's unbelievable. I don't want to live here anymore. This doesn't feel like home. Oh my God. I'm going to leave. If you leave, where will you go? I'll go anywhere.
And the amount you want me to deposit tomorrow? I'm so sorry to disappoint you, madam, but your money's of no importance to me. Are you telling me that you're going to refuse it?
Lucretia might be the woman who shot Amaya.
Really?
She was at the building this morning, and she had a purse that looked just like the one I saw from the woman who came from Emma's building the day Amaya was shot.
Let's now have a look at some business news. A young inventor based in Nairobi has used his ingenuity and little resources to make a solar-powered luminous hoodie to counter power blackouts or lack of electricity connection. Rige Kaflon, a photographer by profession, decided to utilize his idle time on a passion project and came up with a simple but rewarding idea of making a hoodie powered by solar energy. Take a look.
Imagine using your hoodie to charge your smartphone. This is the reality here in Kenya, thanks to an innovation by Roj Kaflon, a photographer by profession, who decided to utilize his free time to develop a hoodie powered by solar energy that only keeps you warm, but also powers your smartphone. He says the hoodie, which stores the solar energy, can be used to power other electronic devices.
It's rare commodity. It's not something that is everywhere or is locally sold. So it's something new, number one, and people want it. Because this hoodie, apart from just light, it has also, it can charge phones. You see, and it also, you can regulate heat. For example, when there is cold, you can regulate, you can increase, or when it is too much hot, you can reduce.
In addition, the hoodie can be used for lighting up a room, and it will last for up to 5 hours. At the moment, the demand for the special wear has attracted demand from even top musicians and artists across Africa. Kaffon's main desire is for the hoodie to spread all over the continent.
There is a Navy Kenzo from Tanzania, and in West Africa there is a Davido. Those are the guys that have shown interest in this thing, and I've dressed them, and they have shown me that actually I can make some money using these.
Kaffon says his innovation was meant to fill a societal gap. Terry Njenga, Channel 1 Business.
Wow. Right. In other news, Kenya exported 26,000 metric tons of avocados between January and March this year, representing 73% year-on-year increase. The latest data from the Directorate of Horticulture says that the bulk of Kenya's avocado consignment was sold in Europe and the Middle East.
Increased demand for Kenyan avocados in the Middle East and European nations saw the export volume grow during the months of January to March this year. The Directorate of Horticulture says Kenya exported 26,000 tons of avocado during the first 3 months of this year. This is a 73% increase from the 15,000 tons of avocados that were shipped out during a similar period last year. According to latest data from Directorate of Horticulture, the avocado export during the months of January to March netted farmers 4.2 billion shillings in earnings. The agency says production of the fruit has increased as cultivation of the crop shifted to non-traditional areas such as the Rift Valley and parts of Western Kenya. Increase in the fruit sales is attributed to demand of the commodity in the Middle East and European nations. The increase in export volumes and value comes just weeks after Kenya lifted a self-imposed export ban that was imposed to, among others, check on the quality of the farm produce being shipped out. Flowers were the top horticulture earner according to the agency. Kenya exported slightly over 50 tons of an assortment of flower variety, generating over 32 billion shillings in revenue over the same period. During the quarter under review, the country exported 18.4 million kilograms of vegetables worth 8.2 billion Kenyan shillings. Peppermint, chili, and beans were among the highest vegetable export in terms of volumes and earnings. Benson Rioba reporting for Channel 1 Business.
In other news, Keroche Brewery sales have decreased by 25% since the government closed down bars and restaurants as part of COVID-19 containment measures. However, the firm's CEO Tabitha Karanja is optimistic that the new liquor brands they have introduced into the market and easing of containment measures will boost sales.
A month ago, the government introduced tough measures, including closing of bars and other social joints in the counties of Nairobi, Nakuru, Kajiado, Machakos, and Kiambu to contain the spread of COVID-19. Keroche Brewery CEO Tabitha Karanja said the containment measures have seen sales reduced by 25% since the bars and restaurants were restricted to take away services in the 5 counties.
The problem with even the beer industry is that you have to maintain the running of the brewery, whether you are selling or not. So whatever we were doing in 2019, we can now say maybe we are doing a quarter of what we are doing.
She says Keroche Breweries has come up with new products and will be launching more beer brands in the next 3 months in a bid to diversify their product portfolio to grow sales.
In Kenya, you don't find anybody manufacturing a strong beer beyond maybe 6%. Now we've gone beyond this 10, we go maybe to 12. We can only get them from the imports, the other parts of the world they do. And then you wonder, why do we let our people, when we have the technology, we have the machines, We've invested heavily, so we've decided to take that gap.
And with the introduction of KB, we noticed that so many people want a beer that is stronger, but these people do not want to take the spirits.
Keroche Breweries is also banking on lifting of curfews and reopening of bars to full service to boost sales. Benson Rioba reporting for Channel 1 Business.
And more than 1,000 frontline workers in the tourism and hospitality industry have so far been vaccinated against COVID-19 in the first week of the ongoing drive to protect the personnel. Tourism Principal Secretary Safina Kwekwe says the exercise would be scaled up to other counties outside Nairobi during the second phase of the vaccination program.
Last week, the government rolled out a 10-day drive to offer COVID-19 jabs to the tourism and hospitality workers in Nairobi before rolling out the exercise in tourism hotspots across the country. So far, 1,000 workers in the hospitality industry in Nairobi County have been vaccinated, with the government hoping to vaccinate another 1,000 workers by the end of this week.
We've vaccinated tour guides, workers in the hotels, those working in entertainment pubs and restaurants, those working in the travel and the tour operations field, because these are people who, by nature of their trade, they must have physical interaction with their clients.
Tourism players are banking on the vaccination exercise to boost confidence in hospitality products that have dwindled during the pandemic.
And we want to show our domestic tourism and international tourism that our chefs are vaccinated and they are ready to receive clients, our housekeepers, our porters and our waiters, above all.
We wanted to start with this and mitigate and ensure that all those who are coming into contact with our clients, be they domestic, be they international, they themselves are safe, and they also ensure that the safety of their clients is guaranteed.
According to the Ministry of Tourism report on the impact of COVID-19, the hospitality industry has witnessed massive job cuts, with meetings, incentives, conferences and exhibitions the most affected. It is estimated that the tourism industry has lost 163.56 billion shillings in revenue after the outbreak of the coronavirus. Benson Rioba reporting for Channel 1 Business.
On the next episode of Ashoka.
Anything Boston by? Why? Just because I took this decision myself? Lie! It's a lie, father! It is a blatant lie! Just don't want to see the problem. You have become so egoistic that you just do not want to accept your mistake. You don't even want to look back and see what you have done.
Emperor, you're not trying to understand me.
Magad's emperor is talking to Magad's crown prince. Relax, he'll be the crown prince. Anything happened? I said it back then and I'm saying it now.
Next on.
That's unbelievable. I don't want to live here anymore. This doesn't feel like home. Oh my God. I'm going to leave. You leave, where will you go? I'll go anywhere.
And the amount you want me to deposit tomorrow? I'm so sorry to disappoint you, madam, but your money's of no importance to me. Are you telling me that you're going to refuse it?
Lucretia might be the woman who shot Anaya.
Really?
She was at the building this morning, and she had a purse that looked just like the one I saw from the woman who came from Emma's building the day Anaya was shot.
You're watching. It's now time for the Sport and Cricket Kenya Normalization Committee chaired by Lady Justice Rite Joyce Alwoch today met the national team players and coaches at Moi International Sports Centre, Kasarani. The committee heard from the players and coaches issues ranging from player welfare, facilities, general development and structure of the game. The centre of attraction was on the information that the national women's team is divided into two, others based in Nakuru, while the rest are in Nairobi, hampering the development of women cricket. The committee, appointed by Cabinet Secretary for Sports Ambassador Amina Mohamed on March 16th, has been working to deliver on its mandate, which include amending the constitution and organizing elections for the troubled Cricket Kenya.
We are a committee that was appointed for 6 months, and we are doing our very best to get cricket sport back to where it should be. That's why we are called a normalization team. We will continue in this exercise, and hopefully we will be able to engage some stakeholders as well. These are also stakeholders, and we hope that we will engage some more. We may not reach everybody, we may not talk to everybody or all groups, but we'll try our best. And that is also one reason why we said where we are not able to, we will receive memoranda.
KCB Bank Kenya has committed 100 million shillings in sponsorship towards the 2021 WRC Safari Rally Kenya, which will return to Kenya and Africa after a 19-year absence. At the same time, the 100 million shillings will be channeled through WRC Safari Rally Kenya. The WRC, which will see the return of world's best rally drivers on Kenyan soil, will cover a distance of 797 kilometers in Nairobi, Naivasha and Kiambu counties. The event, to be held from the 24th to 27th of June, will be televised live on KBC Channel 1.
The sports for many, many years. And today they are here to demonstrate their commitment to continuing with the partnership that they developed over 18 years ago with the Kenya Motorsports Federation.
For those who don't see hope and aspiration and commitment, sometimes with a great journey comes an outstanding event. So the bank is honored today to come here in our commitment as official financial partner for this event, which in my view remains the most significant rally in Kenya's motorsport history.
We'll be looking to the private sector, to the corporate sector, to support us as they have done before, to ensure that our sportsmen and women have the assistance that they need during this really trying period.
Elsewhere, Posta Rangers coach Stanley Okumbi and goalkeeper Kevin Opio have both clinched the Football Kenya Federation FKF Bet King Coach and Player of the Month of March awards. The duo received customized trophies and a cash reward of 50,000 Kenya shillings.
Coach Stanley Okumbi, who had only been on the job for a month, led the Rangers and helped them earn 7 points out of a possible 9 this month. At the beginning of March, Posta settled for a barren draw against Kariobangi Sharks before claiming a 1-0 win over champions Gor Mahia, despite playing with a man less from the 4th minute of the game. As the month came to a close, the team was able to ease their relegation concerns with a 2-0 victory over Mathare United. The national under-20 Rising Stars coach beat Kakamega Homeboys tactician Nicholas Muyoti and Gor Mahia's Carlos Vaz Pinto to the award.
Not individually, because this is a collective effort, because the players, the technical bench, the management of the team has been working hard towards this in terms of supporting the team.
Goalkeeper Kevin Opio clinched the Player of the Month award after maintaining a flawless record against Kariobangi Sharks, Gor Mahia and Mathare United.
Best thing that I used to do, I used to work very hard every now and then, training session with my coaches, teammates. We used to push very hard, but at the end of the day, I saw like it's a reward, it's something that has come from God. And
And Football Kenya Federation FKF Nairobi West Branch Chairperson Caleb Malwei has called on the government and other well-wishers to come up with incentives of supporting the youth who are taking part in the leagues as they plan on sports reopening. Meanwhile, Malwei has urged the players to find alternative means of making their ends meet.
County and regional football leagues in the country are the most affected leagues in the country following suspension of all sporting activities a month ago as means of curbing the spread of coronavirus. According to FKF Nairobi West Branch Caleb Malwei, it has been tough for the past 30 days for both players and match officials who majorly rely on the sport for income, with most of them resorting to other economic activities for survival. Malwei called on the government and other well-wishers to come up with the initiatives of supporting the youth who are taking part in the leagues as they plan on sports reopening.
A bigger percentage of all these people earning from football. They get something to put on their table from football. So when it stops, it's like you're stopping their lives. So apparently that is what has happened. Now, as much as we try our best to help those we can, talk to maybe their leaders, the MPs around them, because also the government operatives, we have the Kazi Mtaani that is happening, an initiative of the government, and we have many of our boys and girls who are participating in such activities. They are earning something small, and we really appreciate, because the federation does not have the capacity, say, to support most of its sportsmen.
Most of the Nairobi West sub-county leagues, including the regional league, were barely in round 5 fixtures, while the women regional league was set to begin before suspension of sports. Frederick Muki for Channel 1 Sports.
That brings us to the end of Channel 1 News Hour this Tuesday night. It's always a great pleasure having your company, and thank you so much for those who took time to interact with us on our social media platform. If I can just go through a few of your feedback. At Alex, you're saying you are tuned in, and then William Mwamburi tuned in from Watamu with your wife Rosemary Njeri. Thank you so much for always tuning in. From Emma Hondo, Kakamega County, Njenga, Harrington, you are also watching us. And then from Kisii County at Otieno, Wycliffe, tuned in as usual. Thank you so much. Also from Maondo, Kakamega County, we have plenty of your feedback coming in. Thank you once again for your time. I'm Purity Museo, and Anu Wangeshi has been our sign language interpreter tonight. Do enjoy the rest of our programming, and God bless.
Good evening. My name is Irene Mchuma Odem. Weatherman says wet conditions will continue over most parts of the country, not only in the next 24 hours, but beyond. That means the first and the second week of May will experience intense rainfall over most parts of the country. This will reduce in the third week, and the reduction will only be experienced over the northeastern parts of the country and also the eastern parts of the country. But then the western sector and Nyanza region will continue to experience wet conditions, and thus we should brace for such weather conditions for quite some good time. Tonight, the only region that is experiencing dry weather condition is the northwestern parts of the country. The rest is experiencing cold weather conditions, and that is how the night will be. Tomorrow, waking up to rains over a few places in the country. The capital will be affected. The morning will be cool and cloudy, and this will also affect Nyeri and Meru. Several places over the northeastern parts of the country will experience scattered wet conditions, and this will also be experienced over the northwestern parts of the country. Areas of Kisumu, Kakamega, Kisii, Narok will experience rains during the morning hours. The coastal strip will experience scattered wet conditions during the early morning hours. And in the afternoon, generally the whole country will experience wet conditions, save for a few areas around Lodwar and Marsabit, where there'll be scattered wet conditions, and sunny intervals will also prevail over most areas in those regions. Temperatures, this is how will fare on tomorrow. The highest across the country will be experienced in Lodwar, Mandera, and Garissa at 36 degrees Celsius. The capital will tonight experience highs of 16 degrees Celsius, and tomorrow we're looking at highs of 25 degrees Celsius. Let's now cross the borders and have a look at the international forecast. Good night. See you tomorrow. God willing.
Vera Beauty and Fashion College, with branches in Nairobi, Eldoret, Thika, and Meru. Did you know that we are a TVET-approved institution? We offer courses in fashion design, interior design and soft furnishing, event decoration, flower arrangement, event planning, hairdressing, barbering and dreadlocks, beauty therapy, makeup, nail technology, spa massages, teaching skills, TOT, solo business management, and many more. Register now and visit our website on www.verabeautycollege.com. You can also call on 0725-923-550 Nairobi branch, 0728-087-689 Eldoret branch, 0722-227428 Thika branch, 0725-000-706 Meru branch. Vera Beauty and Fashion College, a TVET-approved institution.
On the next episode of Ashoka.
And if it wasn't right, why? Just because I took this decision myself? Lie! It's a lie, father! It is a blatant lie! Just don't want to see the problem. You have become so egoistic that you just do not want to accept your mistake. You don't even want to look back and see what you have done.
Emperor, you're not trying to understand me.
Magad's Emperor is talking to Magad's Crown Prince. Relax, he'll be the Crown Prince. Anything happened? I said it back then and I'm saying it now.
Tech on Tech is a weekly talk show that explores contemporary technological concepts and debates and brings you experts who comment or break down technological subjects in an untech way. The aim of this show is to allow ordinary audiences to